This app is live in the App Store. I built it with AI, submitted it, and got it approved all inside of a week. Everyone's talking about how you can build apps now with AI, but nobody shows you what happens when you actually try to ship one. The App Store doesn't care that AI wrote your code. It has the same requirements, the same submission process, the same rejection reasons. So I wanted to prove that yes, you can go from a Claude Code prompt to a live app in the App Store. In this video, I'm going to take you through the full process. Development builds, production setup, submission, all of the stuff that nobody talks about. Everything that it actually took to ship it. And I want to stress that this is not a hollow demo app, it's production quality. It would not break if it saw traction, and I can safely add new features and update it at any time. My app is called Climate Nomad. I've actually wanted to build this app for years. I used to work as a professional meteorologist, and as well as that, during my PhD, I was traveling around for a while as a kind of digital nomad. In any given month, I was chasing around the rainy seasons and where I could find the maximum warmth. And I wanted an app that could just tell you where to go based on the time of year that you're traveling. In the pre-AI era, this was a big hobby project for me, and I would waste weeks at a time trying to get the map projections and visuals to look the way I wanted them to. But honestly, the JavaScript and the coding ended up just being too complex for my skill level at the time. I tried and I just couldn't get it. But last week, I decided to try again, but this time using Claude Code. Claude Code just banged out all of the complex map projections and raster manipulation that I just couldn't do in the end in about an hour. It starts with your choice of code editor. Now, you'll want to stay away from the online tools like Lovable and Replit, and even the mobile-specific ones like Dreamflow and Work. Local first AI agents and editors are the only reliable way that I know of for getting to the App Store with a genuinely native app. Editors like Cursor and Anti-Gravity, or agents like Codex and Claude Code. My personal preference is to use the VS Code editor with Claude Code inside of it. Now, I started by choosing the framework. You can't just demand features of an AI and expect it to just get it. You need to understand the landscape. Hands down, the best framework for building native mobile applications with AI is React Native. You'll hear people talking about Flutter as well, and that's the other viable path for building a cross-platform mobile application that works on iOS and Android with a single code base. But React Native is far, far better represented in the LLM training data because of its parent library, React. On top of React Native, there is a platform called Expo, and Expo provides an ecosystem of pre-built native code for handling all the things that make a mobile app native, like cameras, social authentication, push notifications, haptics, location, and so on. Even better, Expo's application services will build the app on their servers, so you don't even need to own a Mac or use Xcode, which, trust me, you'll probably want to avoid. And EAS can also submit the apps automatically to the App Store and to the Play Store. And with Expo's free tiers, the only thing that you're going to need to pay for initially to get a mobile application into the stores is the cost of the LLM itself to Anthropic or to OpenAI, and also the cost of the developer fee for Apple and Google. Apple are charging $99 per year and Google charge $25 per year. So like I said, it's a mistake to just start demanding features of your LLM agent. Instead, I lay down the foundations first. I had a conversation with Claude on the web, and together we teased out the concept, what libraries we would need, and the approach to the trickier features of my app. But then I used Claude Code to create a shell, a basic app with no features, but with authentication and push notifications, and a local Supabase database, and the mapping libraries that I would need later, all wired up and ready to go. These foundations are what every tutorial seems to skip. Do them before you think about features. And if you do it that way, you can actually reuse the same shell for multiple different apps. Now, to get this running on a real device, I needed a development build. If you've heard of Expo Go, forget it. You'll outgrow it really fast when you're building a real app. A development build compiles all of the native code that you need. That's the stuff that makes an app. And it happens on Expo servers, and you download it then straight onto your phone. But here's the thing, it's still connected to your codebase. So any code changes still hot reload instantly. You get a real native app on a device without ever touching Xcode. Before I sent the build off, I put together a home screen logo in Canva and added that to the assets folder. And then I fired up the job to Expo servers to get my development build. And this gets installed on my phone using a simple QR code. So now I've got the shell installed, I've got native libraries working, and I can iterate on features in real time. This is where I went back to Claude on the web and started brainstorming what the app actually does and basically creating the product's requirement document. But Claude worked out the technical aspects as well and drew up the prompt. Claude Code smashed out the complex weather mapping logic in about an hour. It was running Python scripts on the fly. It was reprojecting raster images into different coordinate systems. This is the stuff that I was suffering through for months and could not figure out during my PhD. And if only I had AI back then. There were some issues trying to get the coastlines to match up, but after some back and forth, the map was ready. Now, one thing that will bite you if you ignore it is your database. When you're building with AI, the schema changes constantly as you add features. And if you're making those changes directly on your live database, you will break something eventually. Supabase gives you migration files. And this is basically a way to let AI design your database architecture and test your database changes locally, and then push them to production when they're ready. Most tutorials seem to skip this entirely, which is insane because it's one of the first things that will burn you. After a little bit more prompting, I had a homepage recommending the best destinations, detail pages for each destination month by month, maps for temperature and rain, optional sign-in, and favorites. And now came the part that really matters, going to production. I pushed my local database schema to my live Supabase instance, got the API running on Google Cloud Platform, and then for the app itself, Expo gives you this really elegant command, just npx test flight, and it handles the rest. The App Store submission process can feel intimidating a little bit, but with AI to help you fill in all of the different fields, it actually goes by really quickly. Don't be put off by how boring this part actually is. It's the home stretch and is absolutely the wrong time to lose momentum. You'll need screenshots and there are tools for this, but honestly, I just take the time to do them in Canva. I found that the paywall tactics of tools like App Screens and App Launchpad can be a bit underhanded. The rest of the fields, they go by quickly with AI explaining everything and giving you the copy. I also have a full video that goes through every step of the App Store submissions, so I will leave a link to that in the description. One thing that can trip you up is that you need a website to submit a mobile app. Or more precisely, you just need web pages. You'll need privacy policy URL, you will need support page URL, and there are online generators for this, but honestly, you can just vibe code a website in half an hour and put it on Cloudflare Pages or Vercel for free inside of 5 minutes. I sent the app for review on a Friday around midday, and I got a response back from Apple on a Tuesday morning, and no notes. But it is very common to go through a few rounds of reviews, especially for a slightly more complex app. But still, don't overthink it. Just address what the reviewers are telling you and move on. Some people have a tendency to wait for one more feature, one more layer of polish before hitting submit, and this is a very common reason why some apps never get submitted at all. So here it is. This is my app in the App Store. I will leave a link to it in the description if you want to check it out. That's a real app built with AI in the App Store. Inside of my private community, I break down the entire process of how to build one and guide you through with step-by-step courses and tailored templates. This community is my primary focus. It's where I spend my time. So do check out the link in the description if you want to learn more about it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.